Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm gonna just kind of show you guys the trip I had earlier this summer. Our first stop on the trip was Indianapolis Motor Speedway, also known as the World Center of Racing. At the track, we got to take a tour of the giant museum, and we even got to take a tour of some of the stuff inside the track, like the pagoda where all the press people go, and we even got to see a bit of the garage, like where all the cars are worked on and stored during races. The track was just absolutely huge. It was like 2 miles long, and the inside of the track was basically like its own little city. There was so much stuff to do inside. And also, you could even see Indianapolis from the top of the pagoda. That was pretty awesome. Unfortunately, we didn't get to drive on the track or anything because they had some kind of event going on that day. But anyways, we had to get back on the road and get to St. Louis. There wasn't much to see along the way other than kind of the transition between all the hills and forest into the Midwest. By the time we got into St. Louis, it was already 8 o'clock at night, so we decided to just get to sleep as soon as we could, and so that we could get an early start on the next day. On day 2, we woke up super early in the morning because we knew we had a long trip ahead of us. It was going to be probably our longest day of travel yet. Within just a couple of short hours, we were already in Kansas and passing through Kansas City. Kansas City was actually a lot larger of a city than I anticipated, and it was pretty awesome to see. Soon after that, we were already going past Kansas Motor Speedway, which unfortunately it was kind of closed, unlike Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But, we still got to see it. It's hard to describe to you if you have never seen Kansas just how flat the land is out there. There is just grass and fields and farms and stuff for miles. You can see for miles because there's no hills or trees blocking your view. It is absolutely insane. Soon we started to come across some windmill farms, which was awesome to see because I had never seen anything like that in my lifetime. The windmills are massive and there's millions of them. That might be a bit of an exaggeration, but there really are tons of them. They just go on for miles, just like the farms. Eventually, we started to cross over the Colorado border. And at first, Colorado was, pretty much just like Kansas. It was pretty flat. But then soon, we started to see the highest mountain in Colorado, Pikes Peak. And you could see it from at least 2 hours away. That's just how massive it was. Eventually, we got to Colorado Springs, which is where we were going to spend the night in Colorado. And to be honest with you guys, I fell in love with Colorado and Colorado Springs the second I stepped foot in it. The entire state is just so beautiful. But we had already been driving for about 12 hours or so we got some dinner and then we went to sleep. The next morning, we got some breakfast, got some gorgeous shots of the mountains, and we were on our way. Within less than 30 minutes, we were already traveling up and around the mountains. We eventually passed through the awesome city of Denver, and much like Kansas City, Denver was actually a lot larger and a lot more dense than I expected. But after that, we continued to pass through the snow-capped Rocky Mountains. This was such an insane experience for me to have, just seeing all of this stuff, and it's this whole world that's completely different from the one that I live in right now. I remember at one point, like in the middle of the day, we were level with the snow caps of the mountains, and it was like 50 degrees outside in the middle of summer. We saw so much in the mountains of Colorado. At one point we saw canyons, we saw deserts, we saw plains, and we even saw snow-capped mountains. Oh yeah, and there was bison. It was awesome. I just could not believe how ridiculously diverse and beautiful Colorado was. Even when it was trying to not look beautiful, it was absolutely stunning. But after about 300 miles of stressful driving up and around the mountains in the middle of traffic and everything, we finally made it to Utah. And a little under an hour after that, we made it to our hotel room in Salt Lake City. Utah also is very beautiful from what I've seen at this point. In fact, Salt Lake City is in a valley. It is surrounded by mountains. But by this point, we had already been traveling for a pretty long amount of time, at least much longer than we anticipated. So we decided to get some sleep. Once we finally made it to Salt Lake City, we did a lot of stuff that I did not get any footage of, and stuff like going to landmarks, going to malls, and whatnot. I just felt way too awkward to get those kind of public shots and stuff, but we did do something that I got shots of, and that was going to Antelope Island in the middle of the Great Salt Lake. Unfortunately, we didn't see many antelope on the island, but we did see a bunch of bison, and we even saw a few deer. It was crazy because this island was massive, and it was in the middle of this even more massive lake in the middle of the mountains. It was so odd to see. And also something that was even more crazy to see was this was the Great Salt Lake. So whenever it was really hot there, the lake would kind of dry up, and it's just a flat bed of salt for miles. That same day, actually, we also went to the Natural History Museum in Salt Lake City. This museum was actually really awesome. It was probably one of the coolest museums I've ever been to in my life. And the view of Salt Lake City from it was absolutely beautiful. But like I said, I didn't get too much footage in Salt Lake City, and after about a week and a half, it was time for me to head on home. And the way I was going to get home was by plane, which, by the way, I had never flown on a plane before, so I was pretty friggin' excited. Unfortunately, once again, I didn't get much footage inside the airport or anything, and I didn't get the freaking window seat, but, you know, what you gonna do? But it was still an awesome experience, and honestly, I kind of had fun with it. It was a really cool thing to do. And trust me, even though I had so much fun on the trip, it was definitely nice to be back home. But yeah, guys, it was an awesome trip, and I really enjoyed it. And I want to give you guys a little bit of a background story to the trip. So, my dad works a lot. He works about 2/3 of the year. And he happened to have a job coming up in Utah, and he saw it as an awesome opportunity for us to hang out and get a lot of time together that we don't normally have. So we decided to go on this trip, and yeah, that's mainly what the trip was about. It was about just spending time with my dad that I don't normally get to do, especially with me becoming older and, you know, going into my senior year of high school and everything. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I put a lot of work into it. And yeah, like the video if you did, and subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, that's going to be about it. I'm the ZCman 2000, and I will see you guys next time.